In the high-stakes world of Formula One, crashes can redefine the course of history. From Hamilton's devastating collision to Verstappen's dramatic incident that changed the career of an F1 driver forever, these unforgettable moments have left an indelible mark on the sport. Join us as we delve into the heart-stopping crashes that have shaped F1's landscape and etched their place in racing history. Let's begin with Fernando Alonso, who faced a horrific crash in the 2016 Australian Grand Prix, where he went soaring into a wall. These are the heart-wrenching accidents that left a lasting impact on Formula One. He went flipping through the air before coming to rest upside down at 200 miles per hour. Luckily, he wasn't seriously injured and was capable of escaping his McLaren. But trust me guys, that's nothing. Because what Max's father Jos Verstappen suffered was one of the most infamous fire incidents in F1 history. During the 1994 Hockenheim race, Jos Verstappen pulled into the pits after 15 laps, expecting a routine pit stop. However, what awaited him was a shock that would change everything. Fuel sprayed out of the fueling hose, igniting his already hot car. The situation quickly turned into a massive disaster, with Verstappen's car and its surroundings engulfed in flames. Amidst a sea of flames, darkness enveloped the scene, and the air became suffocating. Despite this disastrous incident, pit stop refueling continued in F1 until 2010. However, as more incidents occurred due to refueling, it was eventually banned for good. Tragically, while Jos Verstappen survived his fiery crash, another driver wasn't as fortunate. The incident not only dominated headlines, but also etched itself as one of the darkest moments in F1's history. The 1994 crash at the San Marino GP left an indelible mark on the sport. Roland Ratzenberger, an Austrian driver with just 3 F1 races under his belt, tragically crashed into a wall at a staggering speed of 195.7 miles per hour during qualifying, resulting in his untimely loss. Regrettably, the tragedy didn't end there. Ayrton Senna, one of the greatest F1 drivers in history, suffered a horrifying crash and tragically passed away the following day. It was one of the most devastating crashes in F1 history. Rumors circulated that the Brazilian was contemplating not competing in the Grand Prix due to his profound grief over Ratzenberger's untimely passing. Tragically, Senna chose to continue racing, and on lap 7 he lost control of his car, colliding with an exposed concrete barrier at a speed of approximately 192 miles per hour. This incident sparked significant changes in F1 with a renewed focus on driver safety. Measures were implemented to minimize dangerous detachments in crashes, and testing methods for tire barriers became mandatory to enhance overall safety standards. As a result of these incidents, changes were made in F1 to enhance safety, such as securing barriers with rubber belts and adopting wheel tethers. However, while these terrible crashes transformed the sport, they also severely impacted the reputation of one F1 driver. It's evident that Nikita Mazepin's rookie season garnered significant attention, but unfortunately not for positive reasons. Nikita Mazepin faced intense scrutiny even before his F1 career began, becoming a subject of mockery. His crash in the first race of the year only added to the criticism. It's disheartening to witness such a start, and even Sergio Perez openly referred to him as an idiot during the Portuguese Grand Prix. Furthermore, his relationship with former teammate Mick Schumacher also soured to the extent that Mick expressed his desire to retaliate against him. The situation escalated significantly. While this Haas driver's crashes were deemed ridiculous, another Haas driver experienced an incident during the opening lap of the 2018 Bahrain Grand Prix. The consequences of this crash had a lasting impact on both his life and the world of F1. In a terrifying moment, Romain Grosjean experienced a crash that subjected him to a peak force of 67 Gs when he collided with a metal barrier at 119 miles per hour. The impact split his car into two and resulted in an explosion. For 27 seconds, Grosjean was trapped in the cockpit amid the raging fire before he bravely managed to escape. He later credited the halo, which has become an integral part of safety, as the main reason for his survival. Hamilton and Rosberg's intense rivalry led to an unavoidable and disastrous crash at the Spanish Grand Prix, fracturing their relationship. Despite being childhood friends, the incident strained their friendship. Another crash experienced by Niki during his racing days had even more profound consequences, prompting significant changes in F1's safety measures. In 1976, during the German Grand Prix at Nürburgring, inclement weather and wet track conditions were prevailing. Despite being the fastest driver on the circuit, Lauda expressed dissatisfaction with the track and urged his fellow drivers to abandon the race. However, his appeal was outvoted, and against his concerns, the race proceeded. Tragically, at the infamously perilous Bergwerk corner, Lauda lost control of his Ferrari, leading to a collision with a wall and igniting a fiery inferno. The horrifying accident resulted in severe burns to his head and hands, along with inhalation of scorching fumes that damaged his lungs. After being rushed to the hospital, he slipped into a coma, and his condition was so critical that he was even administered his last rites. Niki Lauda's survival after a harrowing crash was a relief for all. Nicholas Latifi's crashes defined his career, but not in a positive way. During the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, his collision impacted Hamilton's lead. Another incident occurred behind the safety car at the Monaco Grand Prix, raising eyebrows. Latifi attributed the mishaps to strange car behavior. Go Tifi, what a guy! While Latifi's crashes luckily didn't cause any serious harm, unfortunately the same cannot be said for Antoine Hubert. During the Belgian Grand Prix, F2 driver Antoine Hubert suffered a tragic high-speed crash on the second lap. The collision near the Eau Rouge turn left his car completely destroyed, and he sadly succumbed to his injuries. F1 legend Jackie Stewart and Carlos Sainz faced safety concerns in their crashes. Stewart's upside-down accident pushed for safety advocacy, while Sainz's impact prompted seatbelt rule reviews. The Red Bull clash between Verstappen and Ricciardo raised team disputes. These incidents have driven F1 to prioritize driver safety and improve overall performance. Daniel Ricciardo expressed frustration over clashes with Max Verstappen at Red Bull, leading to his departure from the team. Verstappen became a two-time champion, and Red Bull's performance suggests more titles in the future. At the British Grand Prix, a terrifying crash occurred when George Russell collided with Guanyu Zhou, sending Zhou's car flying across the track. This crash was so severe as Zhou was literally skidding while upside down for a considerable amount of time. But thankfully Zhou was unharmed, owing it to the halo, and even confirmed on Twitter that the halo saved his life. The halo is just one of the numerous inventions that shows how much F1 has advanced in terms of safety and saved so many lives. But unfortunately, we can't say the same for Jules Bianchi. This young, talented driver, who was the first person ever to be in the Ferrari Drivers Academy, had his dream dashed when he crashed his car into a 6,500-kilogram crane, which was clearing German driver Adrian Sittel's car. Sittel's car had spun out of control and crashed in the same spot the lap earlier, and as a result, his car was still being cleared by the crane when Bianchi lost control of his car on the same curve and crashed into the crane at 78 miles per hour and ultimately lost his life. This tragic incident forced the FIA to implement the 4-hour rule, which requires that races held during the day must take place no less than 4 hours before sundown, along with modifications to track drainage and how emergency vehicles handle collisions. But even if these drivers' crashes created some positive rule changes, sometimes F1 drivers simply force the FIA to make a rule change. But this time, it's just for their benefit. One F1 driver forced a rule change just to gain an unfair advantage in the race. Another driver forced it, which was so bizarre that it even changed F1's future forever. But who are these drivers? And what changes did they enforce? But more importantly, why? I know you want to hear more about this, so just click the video right here.